Never before in the town's history, I think, has there been such a great opportunity. A, because we've now got government backing for an eco-town as part of the expansion of Bicester. We've got a brand new town centre about to start. We've got potential for new homes, but with added facilities. One of the things that Bicester has lacked for many, many years.
In terms of changes I've seen in Bicester, in education, I've seen the biggest change, especially from a Cooper School perspective, where the exams have shown an increase for 4 years running. And the latest set of results out just last week were 64% of our students got at least 5 A-star to C. I travel into Bicester from South Oxfordshire, and when I drive the A34, it's really relatively quiet. All the traffic is on the other side, going away from Bicester onto the M40 and into Oxford, which is a real shame, because that workforce, if Bicester expanded the opportunities here, that workforce could stop in Bicester. It would mean more money, because they would be spending their lunch hours in the shops, they'd be making more purchases in Bicester. It's got to be a good thing to try and expand the town, to try and keep those people in.
This is quite nice. It's very clean, which is good, because in Buckingham there's just loads of rubbish everywhere. And there's a lot of choice, there's a lot of different shops around, like you've got shoe shops, you've got lots of charity shops, which is good if you want cheap clothes and stuff. And then of course you've got Bicester Village for all the end of the line. Buckingham doesn't really have a lot of shops or anything, so it's good to come here to get stuff. The only bad thing is the bus costs £7.30 for a return, which is why I don't really come here as often as I used to, when it was only like £4.50 for a return.
Bicester is a town with many opportunities. Most of them lie with its people. I think it can be quite easy in difficult circumstances to think of the present and the difficulties of the present, but planning in the present within those difficulties for a brighter future has got to be the most positive way forward. And of course, being an educationalist, I would say this, but I absolutely believe it. Investment in skills of young people will contribute to the success of Bicester for the future.
At the moment, the business is very tough. The last few months have been tough in the town, but luckily our town is holding together in as much as we haven't lost many shops. And in fact, the one large retailer, Woolworths, has been replaced. So good news that front. The new town centre development, I think, is a must for the town. It's going to be disruptive for a few years, but once we get it settled, it'll be good for the town. With this multi-storey car parking coming in, hopefully it's barrier parking, and I'm pleased to hear that it's going to be run by the supermarket Sainsbury's. If we look at the parking at Claremont, etc., and utilise that, I think we can get round the problem.
It's really important that business understand that if you're going to improve the standard of education in a town, in all ways of achieving, that education is talked up in the town. If you continue to talk it down, you're not going to make the difference that you want. It'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy of a downward spiral. As far as business contributing to what education wants to do, we have really exciting 14 to 19 provision in place at the moment. We are the East Oxfordshire Partnership, of which the Cooper School and Bicester Community College are a part, is regarded as the role model in the county for 14 to 19 education. I think Bicester has improved enormously in terms of its academic results over the last 15 years or so. We're now at 62% 5A to C. The Cooper School has got a similar amount of progress being shown, and I think we're going from strength to strength.
I think that Bicester's not got the facilities for young children. There's not that much to do. The shops aren't very good. We need more high street shops, because a lot of it's not high street.
We should have bigger brands here as well, like
H&M,
Topshop, more shops for younger people basically, because normally you have to get the bus to go to other places where younger people, say years 7s, or just say a 12 years old girl is not allowed to go to Oxford to get her stuff basically. So I think we should get better shops into Bicester really.
It's quite a good place to live, because like you've got the new sports centre, the bowling, just need like a cinema. It's a nice area, it's like quiet, there's not too much vandalism and stuff.
And we've got Bicester Village, which is good.
Oh yeah, we've got Bicester Village as well, which is good. like Bicester Village.
So my name is Vera Lopez. I manage the Bicester Visitor Centre.
My name is Ping Ping. I'm the Chinese communicator here. We have lots of Chinese customers every day. They have lots of questions about the area, about the local village, and some other place nearby. And they have lots of questions about the shop here, and some other questions about the items they want to buy, everything. So we just feel very happy to help them in Chinese or in English.
Interest is already here. Once they arrive, they are looking for any opportunities to visit and to educate themselves and to learn about the culture. And this area of Oxford is very rich, being the Oxford at our doorstep. So we are really the gateway for the tourism.
Bicester is a very exciting place to live. It's got great opportunities coming up over the next year, 10 years and 20 years. I think looking at it as a town today, one has to understand that 15 years ago it was about 10,000 people. Today it's 32,000 people, and in about 15 years' time it will be 50,000 people plus. While those are exciting opportunities, they also bring along many challenges. I think the town I live in is my adopted town, is a fantastic place to live. Of course there's issues with it, and of course there's things that need to be improved, but overall, very, very good place to live. I think there's two things that have happened in the past. One is that generally Bicester's been given a bad press in terms of being a commuter town. Once a commuter town, always a commuter town. I'll accept the first part of that statement, not the second part. And I think people then tend to take on that aspiration and feel that that's all that can be achieved. I think we need to talk up Bicester. Bicester's got an awful lot of opportunities. It's done an awful lot. It's got a lot to offer already. It sits right in the middle of the country. It's almost equidistant between Birmingham and London, West Coast and East Coast. So from a commercial point of view, it's actually got a superb position. Not only that, it sits between Oxford and Cambridge in what's called the intellectual and technical arc. And somehow it seemed to have missed out on that, which again, I think the opportunities are there to actually expand into those kinds of activities as well. So I think there's a great commercial future for Bicester. I think local people need to look at the positives in Bicester perhaps than looking at the negatives all the time, and actually looking at how they can help to achieve a better Bicester. It's the old John F. Kennedy thing, don't ask what Bicester can do for you, ask what you can do to make Bicester better.